Okay, just about ready to start. Yeah, this is a completely new idea. I've no idea if this is going to be fun for anyone. I'm really just testing this out today, and I'm going to maybe continue if it goes well. Yeah, I've been thinking about streaming my progress on like building musical instruments and kind of general hacking and playing around with technology and doing some cool stuff. So, what the F is this? Yeah. This is going to be a kind of series of videos where I sort of document what I'm going to be working on. And I have a few projects in the pipeline. One of them is this here, which if I get rid of this window, this is a Keytar. For those of you who don't know what a keytar is, it's like a keyboard that you play standing up, and it usually has some buttons, kind of like a guitar that you can then press, which gives you the ability to add some extra cool sounds on top of just the standard keyboard playing. So what I've got here is a custom built keytar which was made in London in the UK. It was made over a 2-day period at Red Bull Studios, and it was an event called it was a hackathon really, where they got musicians and they got programmers and engineers to come together and build something over the course of 2 days. So this was the result of those 2 days. There was a team of 3 people in my team, and we had this actually on stage being played live, and it's on the Red Bull website. Anyway, so this thing had to go back with someone, so I took it back with me. I had to dismantle the whole thing, which basically means it needs a lot of work to get it back to a working state. It's meant to have 2 Gameboys in it. This is one of the Gameboys, which has been modded. It's got a Rock Band Keytar keyboard. It has a Raspberry Pi, which is actually sitting outside of it here. This is in a custom 3D printed case. That's going to be in there as well. And it's got these 2 Guitar Hero necks, and those both allow you to augment the sound and do some cool effects and stuff while you're playing the keyboard. It's also got some lights in there. There's a lot of work I'm going to have to do to this, and my plan is to sort of document it using these live streams, but also so that we can have a kind of dialogue going on. I've never really talked to my subscribers on YouTube, so this is like a completely new thing for me. I just want to see. Okay, I will be uploading this afterwards, whoever that is. Teofy Tobbs, yeah. So these videos will be available, and I'll probably make shortened videos of them as well. But basically, for anyone who's interested in watching the live stream, that's why I'm doing it. People told me live stream's fun. Is live stream fun? I don't know. Let's find out. So what I have is it's set up so it's on YouTube and Twitch. So I am Thermin Hero on both Twitter and Twitch. You can follow me there, but I'll be always simultaneously casting to YouTube and to Twitch. Okay, so I'm going to keep the chat going here, so I am getting messages from you guys. I'm going to just make a list of things I want to do and then hopefully get started. Now this is going to be part 1 of a fairly long running series probably. So I don't expect it to get a lot of traction over the first few days, but once this thing starts lighting up and it starts doing some cool sounds, then it might get quite interesting. Yeah. Cool. So the one thing I don't have on my screen just now is how many followers there are, so I'm not really sure how popular this is so far, but that's okay. I'm just going to make a list of things that I want to do. Hello world, this is not a normal stream, yeah. So I'm not doing video game streaming. I'm not doing DJ streaming or anything like that. I'm just working on what's going to mostly be electronics and a bit of software, and maybe we'll learn something, which would be pretty cool. So, okay, it's not a normal stream. I think the first thing we want to do is probably open up the Keytar, and then we want to investigate the current connections. So that's all the internal wiring. Make sure that's all still in a good state. Then we want to check the Raspberry Pi. And that will let me know if it's even still working, because this thing has been sitting on a shelf for quite a while, and I don't even remember if it's got an SD card in it. It does look like it does, but I'm not sure if it's configured for this. And then I want to try and get a video out from the Raspberry Pi so that I can check the software that's running on it. And that will let me know what information is currently going into the Raspberry Pi and what sounds I could expect out. Okay. So I can kind of minimize that just now. Alright, so the first thing I need to check is have I got enough tools here? I've got my regular Phillips, I've got wire strippers, got pliers, and a flathead screwdriver. I think I only need the Phillips, but the way that this was being put together, I'm not sure. So let's try it. So because this was 3D printed, the way that it's screwed together, there's just basically a bunch of little brackets inside here, and the way that they work is they're screwed into a nut, which is kind of inside, so I need to unscrew a few of these. I also noticed there's some damage to the shell casing around this corner, which is unfortunate. Alright, so anyone who's just joined us, this is a Keytar, which is made from a Game Boy, actually two Game Boys, there's going to be two of them, two Guitar Hero necks, keyboards, a Raspberry Pi, an Arduino, and a multi MIDI input and output device. And I'm going to be fixing it because it's not currently working. Yeah, the computer is going to be running the kind of inputs and outputs. It's going to be allowing me to map the buttons to different functions, but the actual sound is going to come from the Game Boy. I'll explain that once we get to that stage, which probably won't be today. So that's not the best of sound, but let's keep going. This was very hastily put together. We were given 2 days to build this, minus the 3D printing, which was done before. And it was really just get it working and don't worry about the consequences of bad design. Yeah, so it's not perfect. In fact, there's probably going to be a version 2 of this one at some point, because the 3D print is not perfect either. actually been glued together. Alright, so having two Game Boys, yeah. The cool thing about having two Game Boys is you can send the same note to both of them and have them play different sounds. So actually the Game Boys have quite a lot of flexibility in terms of the sound that you can get from them. And yeah, if I have both of them hooked up at the same time receiving the same note data, then I can actually have them play like either a chord or something like that, or I can actually make them slightly detuned from each other, and that gives you this really kind of cool chorus effect, or kind of flanger effect, I guess. Alright, so this is going to have to be flipped. Keyboard is going out, yeah. This will just come apart. But I feel very lucky right now. Okay, that's the screw. Almost free. Come on. I think I almost designed it too well. This does not want to come apart. No, I'm just kidding. It's not well designed at all. Thank you. We have a new Twitter follower. Cool. Okay. Twitter, did I say Twitter? I meant Twitch. Yes, I'm new to the streaming stuff. Don't judge me. Yeah, Raspberry Pi is pretty cool. It's actually a proper computer. I mean, you can even play Minecraft on it. It's got enough horsepower to do some pretty cool stuff. The fact that it's so cheap, pretty much everyone should just get one. I'm gonna turn the mic a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you can do a hell of a lot of things with the Raspberry Pi. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna just put the case over here just now. Give myself some space to work. Okay, that's Game Boy number 2. I'm gonna be using Game Boy number 1, which is so this has been modified already, and it has a MIDI input. So right here. And with that MIDI input, it means I can basically feed the data directly from the Raspberry Pi via this device here, which is a MIDI input and output USB board basically. So it can connect directly to the Game Boy, which is why I've got this cable here. And if I plug this in here, and if I can get the Raspberry Pi working, then all I need to do is give this thing power and this thing power, and I believe that's all we need because there's actually batteries in here, and we should be able to get some sound out, but that might take me a little while. I'm just gonna check the wiring we've got here first. So these are all the cables have been labelled, as well as color coded, so that it can be taken apart. But they are also glued in, which is I'm happy that is the case, because otherwise, well, I'd have to have a wiring diagram and spend forever doing that. So I'm glad that that's together. Okay, everything looks okay in terms of the wiring. So if I plug this into the Raspberry Pi and we get power to this, then I should be able to check if everything is working from the software side of things. And I believe this Arduino Mega just needs power, so that can actually be provided by the Pi. Okay, so here's where things get a bit tricky. I need to wire up a monitor to this, first of all, because it's not on the Wi-Fi network. And I also need to get power to it. So I'm going to find some cables. And the monitor I'm going to be using is actually over the other side of the room, but I think my cable is actually long enough and I can even stream that in. Yeah, Raspberry Pi and Arduinos, you know, it's a really good way to get started with electronics and software. The great thing about the Raspberry Pi is you can code on it and you can do some really cool stuff on it without worrying about, you know, breaking your computer or anything like that, because it's essentially a throwaway device. So yeah, it's a nice thing to have, and it's a nice thing to play around with. And you can actually develop proper embedded systems using it. In fact, they've made the Raspberry Pi kind of customizable. If you want to build a product, you can go to the Raspberry Pi Foundation and say, hey, I want a custom designed Raspberry Pi to put inside of my product, and they'll you know, well, you have to pay them obviously, but they will, you know, they can do that for you. They can help you design something, which means that the same software that you build in your development environment, wherever you're just creating your prototype, when you go to develop a finished product, then you can actually use the same software and just a different implementation of the hardware in the Raspberry Pi. Okay, cable time, give me a minute. This is the issue, I have too many cables. Always the issue. Here, yep. That's the one I want to feed the Pi with. The audio, okay, yeah, I can fix that, hold on. That should have helped the audio. So now I just need power, I believe. I am still alive, yeah. You know, a lot of people have already said that I don't make enough videos, and that is absolutely true. So this is the year that I'm going to change that, and this is how I'm going to start. I'm going to start building more hardware. I'm going to start coming up with ideas for videos and live stream as well. Okay, so I need power for the Pi, which I can get from here. So I actually have another camera set up. Power. Okay. Cool, yeah, sorry about that audio issue. Also, chiptune metal crossover. You know, I'd like to do crossovers at some point. Maybe even a collaboration. That would be cool. But it's here we go. We have video coming out of the Raspberry Pi. So I'm gonna try and switch over to that stream. This is the first time I've ever tried something like this. So let's see. Oh, cool. Okay, that seems to work. Now I need a keyboard and mouse. I'm going to be back in 15 seconds. I think that was about 15 seconds. Okay. Let's see if we have keyboard and mouse. Okay, there's a delay on the stream for some reason, but oh yeah, that's okay. So I'm gonna have to be looking at this screen over here. Yeah. So let's see what we have on here. I can barely see that. Okay, so right away I know this is not the correct setup for the Keytar. I feel as though maybe it's a different SD card I need to use. So I'm gonna Me Metal Productions, yeah. Collaborations are definitely something I'd like to do. Further down the road a little bit. The issue with collaborations is you need to be really dedicated to like get something done and actually work with the other person to do that, and it can be really difficult, especially when you've got so many commitments like I do, to get the time, especially like the time zone difference can be a real pain. Like if you actually need to talk to someone for a decent amount of time and be like, yeah, here's like what key we're going to play and here's what track we're going to play and here's how the mix is going to work. It's quite a time consuming effort. I'm going to keep that on the back burner just now, but it's going to be an interesting year, let's just say that. So let's not rule out that possibility just yet. So getting back to this, I'm going to change the SD card out, and I'm just really hoping that one of these has got the right software on it, because I don't know where the backup is. I do have a backup somewhere, but where it is, I'm not sure. Can someone tell me how many viewers there are on YouTube, please? Because I don't actually have that information right now. Interesting, okay. This is the correct one. Cool. 9, alright, cool. It's a good start. as I say, I don't think this is going to be everyone's kind of cup of tea. It's going to be very hands-on, very kind of just working methodically through different problems and trying to get something working. Yeah, my Twitch account is just Thermin Hero. It should be up on the screen. Just Thermin Hero. I'm going to check that actually, just give me a second. Yeah, it says it's offline, unfortunately. Or it's just slow. Suspicious. I tested this yesterday. Okay, it says I'm offline on Twitch, so yeah. It does seem like Twitch, yeah, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, you know what? Apparently I'm on another account, so I started up 2 accounts on Twitch, and I'm on the wrong one. Cool. I'm gonna switch that over. So anyone currently on the other account, which I can see the name of, it's like Partanax0. Anyone on there, they can switch over to Thermin Hero 1 in about a minute's time. I'm gonna have to stop the stream temporarily for that, but it'll only take a second. Cool, so it'll be on the Thermin Hero Twitch once I get this up and running. Okay, I don't think I have to stop the stream after all, so that's good. And maybe, oh no, yeah, please restart your broadcasting software. Okay, I will be back in 1 minute.